Hey everybody, welcome back to Wicked Good Sports. This is a new show called Villa Villa, and as we're saying, welcome to the Villa Villa, hosted by our new host Aaron Slater. You may be seen on our last episode of Way West Stand, but if you haven't, Aaron, welcome to the channel.
Thank you. I really appreciate this opportunity again to be able to have a channel and talk about my favorite club, Aston Villa, and the ups and downs that we're gonna have this season because this team is an Arsenal, but we'll damn well try.
Yeah, so it from the pre-recording session we just had, the debrief. It seems we're coming in at a very interesting time to be talking about this team. They just fired their manager, Steven Gerrard. Can you take me through the reign of Gerrard for Aston Villa?
I'm so glad he's gone. I could tell
Okay.
you what, Brian. I'm so glad he's gone. Is
We've all been
Gerard
there.
was, yeah, Gerard was meant to be the savior from the previous successor, Dean Smith, who brought us up from the championship, which he did a great job. He kept us in the Premier League for a season, just a run of play. Unfortunate for him, he had to get canned, unfortunately. So they went out, got Steven Gerrard from the Rangers.
Right.
Thought it was this great savior, great player, probably going to be a great coach. Not quite.
No.
Uh, it ended up being boring. He promised attacking style play. He promised, uh, you know, great players coming in, which he did. He brought in Phil Coutinho, his who he played with, ex teammate. There we go. That's the word I wanted to use. He brought in Diego Carlos from Sevilla, I want to say. He brought in Boubacar Kamara for free, on a free, which he's like free agent essentially in
Right.
any other sport. Um, but it ended up being very stagnant, and it showed. Like it even showed in the trainings that nobody wanted to be in trainings. That's how toxic it got. Team cohesion was just brutal. In-game management was bad by him. It was poor as far as making subs and not being able to roll with the changes that go on. He left us with broken promises, ambitions to be top 10, and we're not. We're 17th? Something like that in this league. I can't quite remember off the top of my head. 15th? But either way, we're
Currently
not
15th.
top 10.
So not
We're not top
17th,
10.
not as dire, but yeah, not where you want to be.
Of course. We needed a breath of fresh air. Somebody. Right now, we have Aaron Danks as the interim head coach, and he's had only been really a U21 coach, head coach for multiple teams. He's been an assistant for England's U20 and U21, and he was an assistant coach at Anderlecht, which is a Belgian league, Belgian team league. And he got to show what he was capable of in this giant win this week in match day 13. I mean, this team shackles off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Purring. It was purring. They won 4-0 against a good Brentford side who are actually 10th right now, 10th or 11th.
Yep. 11th now.
It,
Yep.
it seemed easy scoring these goals. I couldn't believe it. It was 2 minutes into the game we scored. They had a formation change. They went from the typical Gerard. I'm going to call it a Christmas tree,
Okay.
but some other people like to call it the flying V, which is essentially 4 in the back, and then 3 midfielders, 2 attacking, and then 1 striker. It's a very narrow play, and it just didn't have the players working with it. But with the 4-2-3-1, it allowed for wing play. It allowed for the ability for the double pivot, which is what the 2 is for, then Donka and Douglas Luiz were able to swing it around, able to find the outlets, to be able to find the fullbacks, the wingers. It was just majestic. I mean, the first goal came off of a set piece, which was a corner. Douglas Luiz took the corner, ended up giving it to drawing a blank on who it was, but it ended up, I think it was Emi Buendia. Gave it back to Emi Buendia, who gave it back to Luiz, found Bailey in the box for the first goal. It was a breath of fresh air. Everybody in Villa Park erupted. And then we went on to score 3 more goals after that, with Ings scoring 2, one off of a PK and another from an assist on Bailey again. And then Ollie Watkins, finally. It's been like Jesus, where he's been this drought. He's just an excellent player who has this really high work rate, and you love to see him be able to press the back lines of the opposing team, and he just deserved. It was one of those you deserved it kind of goals. I mean, he had the first shot saved, second shot deflected, third shot finally went in. It was one of those kind of crazy plays, grit play.
Right.
This team, if we stick with the 4-2-3-1, there's no reason that we can't just keep burying goals and being able to have that creativity with Dendonka and Luiz. I mean, it was excellent. They dropped McGinn, who has been a club favorite. Unfortunate things happen. If you play bad, you should be able to be benched.
Right.
It doesn't matter if you have the captain's band. If you play bad, you pay the price.
Right.
And I think that it's Dendonka's position to lose at this point.
Yeah, so I mean, that's obviously like a major turnaround, because for anyone who is new to this, just like wanting to get into the Premier League or anything, I looked through their last like 5 games, and they got shut out twice, and they got shut out 3 times, and they had 2 goals in 5 games combined. So to score 4 goals in 1 game is pretty incredible.
It was so crazy that I think it was a stat where it's like 547 minutes that they had gone without scoring.
It
was
crazy.
crazy.
Oh my god.
And then I heard another one from one of the pundits had said that this is when they scored the 2 goals quick. That they scored half as many goals at home that day than they did all season. And by the end of the game, they scored as many goals that day than they have all season. It's just, it's clearly there's goals in that team. There's players who are good. It's just Gerrard was a bad coach. He relied a lot on his assistants who left. His assistant is in QPR right now in the championship, and they're second. So what's that say about Gerrard?
Right. Yeah.
But anyway, we finally get to live life without Gerrard, and this is what we get. A beautiful 4-0 game.
Yeah, so that has to have you as a fan feeling good. Probably has the team feeling good. So with that in mind, we get a new coach, new manager. Sorry. It's American terms again, as always. A new manager. Tell me about this guy.
This is Unai Emery, or Unai Emery, I guess. It depends on your English, however you want to pronounce him.
Right.
He had coached at multiple places. He had coached at Sevilla, PSG, which is a French giant. I mean, nobody's really... There's 1 year maybe in between where they'll lose. But he had coached at Arsenal, and he had coached at Villarreal, who he finally left for. He has a ton of accolades. He's won the French league. He's won multiple French league cups. He's won 4 Europa leagues, which is what Arsenal's in right now. So this guy has pedigree. He's made multiple Champions Leagues entrances and group stage and knockouts. So to be able to have a guy who has this type of experience, this type of knowledge, and to be able to bring in the tactic that he has, which his favorite is 4-2-3-1. He will run sometimes a 4-4-2. Depends on the club that they're facing at the time. It could be when he wants to run a 4-4-2, it's more that he wants to dominate the team real quick, get the goals. But he fits the mold that hopefully Villa are looking to do. I mean, it's clear that a 4-2-3-1 works. He is given a ton of money next winter, this coming winter window in January. Nasefi Suarez and Wes Edens are just bankrolling him. So hopefully he'll be able to bring in the players he wants and be able to support the team that he is going to dream about and be able to get us into the top 10. I'm not saying we'll be top 8 and we're not going to push for Europa this year. That's absolutely bonkers. That's overachieving beyond everybody's dreams. If we can get within that 10, 11, I would probably be satisfied with 12. As pessimistic as that might sound. But there's still some clear opportunities for improvement. Like our defense was okay that game. The scoreline really favored the 0, to be honest. There was multiple times where Brentford got unlucky, or Tyrone Mings had made a sliding play in order to make a deflection or block a pass or something like that. You know, a lot of it flattered the 0. Emi Martinez, world class as always. That dude is top notch. Our goalkeeper. And we have 2 Emilianos. So, Martinez, our goalkeeper, who we got from Arsenal, who probably Unai actually knows, was world class in that match. I'm ecstatic about having this different coach. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, which is why I pushed the 10, 11, 12 range. You know, fool me once kind of deal. You know, it's kind of one of those things.
Yeah. Do a little wait and see. You know, don't want
to
get a hedge. I think that's always healthy in sports fandom, because the second you like get too excited, something horrifically goes wrong. At least in my experience, I don't know. Maybe some people only root for like blessed teams. I'm not one of them.
Same.
Oh man! All right, so right now, the year 15th, they got 12 points. What's the feeling? Are they going to be able to like keep out of relegation for this season?
Yes, I think the obvious answer is yes. Okay. Personally, there's no reason to be down that low. They have spent buttloads of money. I mean, it's like over $200 million they've spent in the last 2 seasons. There's far worse teams that are going to get relegated than Villa. I mean, at worst, I really think at worst, 15th.
Okay.
There's no way this team's getting relegated, especially now with the head coach change. If we had stuck with Gerrard after the World Cup, man, it might have been real close. I think it's like around 40 points in that ballpark that you really want to get to not be relegated, to stay up. The year that Villa did get promoted, they got 39. It was a really weird year for that one. There's a lot of teams that had low points. I think the champion might have been 87 points or something like that. But you know, it's anywhere from 40 to 45 you want to get for not being relegated to stay up.
Right.
There's no way they're getting relegated.
All right. I love that. I love the almost enthusiasm. As we said, we're hedging a little bit. But
Yeah,
oh man. All right. So, is there anything else that we didn't get to that you wanted to get to on this first episode?
so we have big match coming up against Newcastle
Yes.
this Saturday at 10. It'll be at St. James Park. So it's an away match. Newcastle's going to be tough. They are fourth on goal differential, and that's something you don't see from them very often. They're a very well-structured team right now. They do have Alexander Isak out and Alan St. Maximin, which is big for Villa because those guys are very creative and they will wreak havoc in the box. But clearly they're still doing well without them.
Right.
So we're going to have to really strap up the boots here and play sound defense. And it might end up being a 1-0 game or one way or the other. It's either going to be a draw or a 1-0 game. It's really kind of come down to that. I mean, Villa have only really won 4 in their last 20 against Newcastle. That's how kind of stacked it is against Villa at this point.
Right.
But we can hope for the best, and we'll drink beer and have fun watching the game.
Yeah, have a
of
good
course.
time anyways.
Yeah, of course.
Regardless.
And then we finally have some good news as far as injury updates go.
Okay.
Luca Dean, our left back, who went out with an ankle injury last month, has finally been training full-time with the squad. So we're hoping to see him in Newcastle, against Newcastle. Ashley Young, the fine 37-year-old, has been everything he could be. I mean, he turned back the clock. He's fine wine right now. He's that aged, perfect wine right now.
Right.
He's been scoring goals for us, assisting. Couldn't ask for much better from a 37-year-old, that's for sure. It'll be a definite pickup. And then we have Boubacar Kamara, who picked up a knee injury against Southampton in September. Looks like he's been training individually off the side, but he's definitely ahead of schedule, which is something that nobody expected. We were expecting him to be after the World Cup. But it looks like he could even be playing in the World Cup for France, which
nice.
would be a huge move for France and a huge move for Villa. France is down N'Golo Kante. He's been injured, and Pogba had a injury with a leg injury. I can't quite remember, or surgery, something happened. So they're thin on their end, and we're thin on our end. So, it'd be nice for both of those guys to get some, real quality back.
Yeah.
And being able to have Kamara play in the World Cup, get him match ready for games domestically. It's actually a win-win scenario, really. One of the few times where playing in the World Cup doesn't actually drain your squad. It can actually help in this case.
Right. That's coming up. That's soon.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
We're gonna
World Cup
definitely
is like
cover
Christmas.
it here with
yeah.
you and Rhett. I mean, I'm really excited for it as well. So that'll be something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be excited for the World Cup, and Rhett and I, I'm sure, will, have our fair share of fun doing that coverage.
Yes. All right. Anything else before we get on out of here?
I'm gonna say no. I think everything's been covered.
Cool. Well,
glad to be a part of this crew and sharing Villa, baby.
Yes. Very exciting. And of course, as always, is there anything you'd like to promote? Floor is yours.
Albany Gooners.
Yes.
Brett, he's been doing dirty work getting this off the ground, and I'd love to see him get more more fans, more people to come out and enjoy games with him. He's a ball to go watch games with. So you know,
Yes.
I'd love
I'm
to.
excited at some point to come and see this in person.
Yeah,
That'll be fun.
it's awesome. It's awesome.
Oh man. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time. And great job first episode. It was very fun and look forward to doing more. And I hope that everyone watching is looking forward to hearing more. Please subscribe to the channel, subscribe on podcast services, all that. And we'll see you all in the next one.